morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to be taking a look at amazing rare Celebi. In a recent history video, I showed you a Celebi EX, which was utter trash. One of the worst kind of chase cards we've seen. So bad. Is this one? No, this one could be really, really good. Also, I was led to believe that all of the amazing rares would have 3 different energies in their attack cost, and technically Celebi does, but it is split over 2 attacks, which makes it legitimately payable. This one's got a real shot, ladies and gentlemen. Now, starting off with the basics, though I should mention our translation comes from the lovely Antoine Boulet, we got 60 HP. 60 HP, not good. We can look at stuff like Dragapult V Max, that drops 5 damage counters, and plays Galarian Zigzagoon to drop the 6th. That's going to go down extremely quickly. It's weak to fire, so a Reshiram and Charizard for 2 energy can just outrage and get a KO straight off the bat. This is bad. It is a terrible HP. The retreat cost of 1, allowing us to use a U-turn board, is significantly better, mind you. So, you know, go team. And the weakness to fire, as previously mentioned with Reshiram and Charizard, not terribly good. And the annoying thing is, we finally got a Celebi with a potentially decent damage-dealing attack, and it's not really ever going to hit for weakness because nothing really relevant is weak to grass. So, cheers for that, Celebi. But don't worry about it, because we've got 2 attacks here, and they're both pretty gosh darn nice. First up, 1 grass energy. This attack does 30 damage for each energy attached to the defending Pokemon. And essentially what you're doing here is you are really taking advantage of your opponent piling energy on. The weird thing is you're not really going to get many KOs with this, I think is probably what I'm going for. Like, let's say you got something like Pikachu and Zekrom. Pikachu and Zekrom use their GX attack. They've gone for the big version of the GX attack. Thunder Mountain has rotated, so they have legitimately got 6 energy on there. You do 180 damage. And right, 180 damage is good, but that is still only 75% of what you need to do in order to get a 1-hit KO on Pikachu and Zekrom. Now, that doesn't make Celebi a bad card. You're still doing 180 damage. 180 damage is great. But it does mean that you need to try just that little bit harder. And the problem is, this isn't something like Victini. Victini V does 30 damage for each energy attached to you and the defending Pokemon. So if you find that your opponent doesn't have quite enough energy attached in order for you to go and get a KO, you can just add more energy onto yourself and then come in and swing with Victini. This is a very much a little baby version of Victini. It is 30 damage, but only for energy on the defending Pokemon, not for energy on you, and it's hitting a much worse weakness, etc, etc. It is for a single energy on a single prize basic Pokemon, so let's not get too upset here. But this is not necessarily a Pokemon for KOs, it is a Pokemon for getting some damage on the field. You come across something like a Spiritomb, and this is just going to get an easy KO for a single energy. But for so many other Pokemon, you're just falling a little bit short. So, something like Blacephalon. Blacephalon, good single prize Pokemon, free energy, and then they do 50 damage for each energy they discard from their hand. So generally speaking, they're going to try and have like free energy on themselves, which means you do 90 damage and they've got 120 HP and you're a little bit short. Something like Excadrill, one of the very few relevant, well, I say relevant with a broad definition of relevant, grass weak Pokemon we've got at the moment, but they're only ever going to have 1 energy on, so even with weakness you're only ever going to hit 60 damage. If they ever get 2 energy on, then you can use a Vitality Band, go up to 70, get a 1-hit KO. Yay! But let's face it, they're not going to have 2 energy on, so it's kind of irrelevant. And then when you get to the bigger, more energy-hungry Pokemon, they're just never going to have enough energy on. Pikachu and Zekrom is the weakest of the tag teams that we see. You don't get weaker than 240 on a tag team. And even when they've got the most energy on they're ever going to realistically have, you're still 2 energy on them away from getting a KO. It is a nice attack to poke, it is a nice attack to get some damage on the field, and it is a nice attack for finishing off Pokemon. You get to do 200 damage to a Pikachu and Zekrom, and then you finish them with Celebi, yes. But it's not going to get a lot of big KOs by itself. But we've also got another attack here, which is also pretty gosh darned awesome. 1 lightning, 1 psychic energy, Amazing Bloom. For each of your bench Pokemon, search your deck for a card that evolves from that Pokemon and put it on top of that Pokemon to evolve it, then shuffle your deck. This could be ridiculous. This could be absolutely full on breaking the format wide open. Because this is a turn 1 attack. It's literally Leafeon's GX attack. Except it's actually better than Leafeon's GX attack, because Leafeon's GX attack only worked on basic Pokemon. This works on evolved Pokemon as well. Leafeon, for a single energy, for each of your bench basic Pokemon, search your deck for a card that evolves from that Pokemon and put it on that Pokemon to evolve it, then shuffle your deck. This is the same thing, but they don't have to be basic. Now, Leafeon was a stage 1, but remember for a while we had the Eevee from Sun and Moon with Energy Evolution, so essentially when you attached an energy, you would then evolve into Leafeon. But Leafeon was a 2-prize liability, and that's basically why Leafeon rarely saw any play. Leafeon would go in the active, and wasn't a particularly good attacker, and would sit there evolving your Pokemon, and then sit there waiting to take a hit. Which is not what you want to do. Whereas Celebi goes in the active, and look, Celebi's got 60 HP. Celebi is going to get KO'd, but it's given up 1 prize. And giving up that 1 prize is totally worth it, because you're going to be setting yourself up for the game. You can do those weird things like only play Quick Ball and Great Ball and not worry about stuff like Evolution Incense for your Evolution Pokemon, so that you can focus purely on getting your basics, be more consistent in that regard, and then just evolve using this attack. Get some Minccino out, evolve them up to Chinchino, boom, there's your draw engine all ready to go next turn. Get a Rillaboom rolling. Now, you won't get full Rillaboom, let's be clear. Rowlet and Alolan Exeggutor can go up 2 evolution stages, this can't. But you can go and get yourself a Thwackey this turn. And remember, when you evolve, those Pokemon will be on the field at the beginning of your next turn, which means instead of evolving up that basic into a stage 1 on turn 2, you're evolving that stage 1 into a stage 2 on turn 2. And now all of a sudden you're not using rare candy, but you're still reliably getting out your stage 2s very quickly. I adore this. I think there is so much potential here for getting these silly evolution decks absolutely rolling. I mean, one of my favourite decks at the moment is Excadrill. Imagine just getting a bunch of Excadrill and a bunch of Zebstrika rolling because you got all your basics down turn 1 and then just evolved all 5 of your bench Pokemon, so you are fully ready to go on turn 2. That's what this does! Now, I keep referring to it as a turn 1 attack. What do I mean? It's got lightning energy in it. So Tapu Koko Prism Star. Bearing in mind you're going to be focusing on basic Pokemon search here, so it's going to be easier to get this rolling. You use Tapu Koko to accelerate 2 lightning energy, 1 to each of 2 bench Pokemon. One of them is Celebi, one of them is literally any other Pokemon who really cares, and then you just attach a Psychic or any special energy that could fit that, and you're off and rolling. I really like Celebi. It's one of those cards where the first time I saw it, I'm like, meh. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, look, that damaging attack is not phenomenal. It really isn't phenomenal. But it is good enough to poke a little bit here and there. Then you add in this evolution attack, and I do prefer this over Leafeon. I never played Leafeon because you had to take up more space in your deck for Leafeon. It gave up multiple prizes. This is a single basic that you can just play, and as long as you're playing the right energy, you can get evolving really nicely. Yes, I know the energy cost is awkward, but I don't really care. I'm giving it 4 Wassies. I think this is a kind of Pokemon that is going to lead to some really, really interesting deck ideas, and I am fully into it, ladies and gentlemen. I am fully into it. But I'd like to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts, be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.